Hello, children, I see you. I'm very happy to see you. Greet your family, boogie on down. Give a clap and turn around. My name's Miss Wendy, and we are going to be learning lots of things about seeds. So we're going to learn how they sprout and about seed foods we eat and about how they're carried. This is deer. Here's a formal term for it. It's scat, but you might think of it as poop. So first of all, let's just talk about how seeds travel. So they can travel when animals eat the seeds. There's my deer. And poops it out, or on animal fur, or if a bird eats the seed and cracks it open, or on air, you've all probably seen dandelions and silver puff, or if an animal, we have our squirrels hide seeds around our house all the time. So let's look at some of the seeds and some of the ways they might be scattered. So you can see here, this might be scattered very easily by air. And I'm going to get another one. This is, look at this one. Can you see the little seed? It has its own little parachute. And you could see if I blow on it, it would be scattered by air. Now, this seed might hook on to animal fur. And this seed is another one. These are ones that might hook on to animal fur, but parts of the seeds would be scattered by air as well. So let's look at some different seeds, and then we're going to do a finger play. So you can see the seeds, the little seeds here. And you can see with these seeds right here, whoops, look, we caught a little bit of that milkweed again. You can see how these seed pods opened. Can you see how they opened and let the seeds out? You can see this seed did something very funny. Let me find that one. It's right over here. It twisted open to open up. So let's look at a couple of other kinds of seeds. You can see this one opened up, looks sort of like what a pea pod would look like. Now, this is a grass seed, and you can see those could easily, if I pull one off, blow in the wind, like that. So seeds travel in lots of different ways, and we are going to do a seed finger play. So let's look at the pictures. Seeds, here they are scattered everywhere. So let's get our seeds, and they're scattered everywhere. Some by animals and some by air. There's my milkweed flying about again. And let's sing a song about seeds traveling. So here's my dropping seed song. Dropping seeds on the ground, on the ground. We carry them when we go. When they get water, they will grow all around, all around. And sometimes we're going to plant seeds deliberately. We're going to learn a little bit more about that later. So digging, digging in the earth and planting all your seeds. Some falling rain and sunny days are all the flowers need. So we might plant seeds And there's a wonderful story, a lot of you might know it, about a little boy who plants a carrot seed. And if you remember, his mama says, I don't think it will come up. And his father says, I don't think it will come up. And his little brother says, it won't come up. But the little boy keeps digging out all the leaves and sprinkling the ground with water. And one day, let's see, something starts to come up. Carrots come up just the way, and if you remember, the little boy thought it should, a really giant carrot. So that's one of the good books about seeds called The Carrot Seed. Another book that is an absolute favorite of mine is called If You Plant a Seed. And the reason it's a favorite is because it talks about not just planting seeds for plants, but planting a seed of kindness. Isn't that special? So that's another one of my favorite books, but one of the books which is going to relate to what we learn later is called Fruit is a Suitcase for a Seed. So here's my suitcase. And we're going to open up a suitcase for a seed in a little bit. But first, let's read a seed story. So this is how seeds spread. And seeds are carried on fur, and seeds are carried on air. Seeds are carried by water, and birds carry them everywhere. So that's how we get a lot of our seeds. We call that carrying. It has a special big brain word, dispersal. Now let's look at some other seeds before we get to finding out what's inside our suitcase. So seeds come in many sizes. You might recognize this seed. It's a very big seed. This is the seed of a coconut. And if you shake it, you can hear some of what is going to be the food for the coconut seed growing. So that's one seed. Now I'm going to bring a whole bunch of different seeds to look at. This seed, which you can see at Hardburger Park, is called an Eve's necklace. Can you see how it looks like beads? Do you think an animal might like to eat those? I think they might. They look really yummy. You can see that these seeds still have, the pods still have the seeds inside them. Did you know that this is a seed? And all these little pieces are seeds. Here's another big seed that you can find right by Hardburger Park across the street in the Elan parking lot. This is a bur oak. So look, you can see how the seed came out. I took the little cap off and the seed came out of there. This is another kind. This is really neat because you can see that seeds come from flowers. So on one side, you can see the flower, and on the other side, you can see how the seed is coming out of it. This is a buckeye seed, and it's got 3 parts. Ooh, this is a big seed. You can see it's starting to split open. This is from a Sago Palm. Here you can see that there are probably little tiny seeds in that seed pod. And let's look at some of the other seeds. Remember the milkweed? This is the pod that it comes in, and you can see the fluffy, I said that's sort of like a little parachute for that seed. You can see the seeds inside. This is a Chinese lantern plant, and if you look carefully, you'll see the seed inside, and these blow very well. This is another one that blows well. This is it's called, it doesn't have a common name, but it's a Aristoloqia Fimbriata. And if you look inside, you can see where the seeds would be, and you can see that it would blow. Now let's look at some of our other seeds. This is a very long, thin seed. This one shows where the seeds have fallen out, as does this one. You can see the seeds some of them are still there and some of them are falling out. Here are some other shaped seeds that you can see. Now, we eat lots of seafood, so you'll recognize some of these. There's a walnut, chestnut, and we have hazelnut. We have all sorts of nuts, almonds. Those are all seeds. They're suitcases. Actually, the nuts are suitcases for a seed. And you can see when we open up like a peach pit, there was a seed inside. So there are lots and lots of different shapes and sizes of seeds. Now, if you remember, we said that a fruit is a suitcase for a seed. So let's look at some of these suitcases. Now, you may think an avocado is a vegetable. It's sort of, we think of it as a vegetable, but it's actually, from the point of view of nature, it's a seed. So I did a seed dissection and found the seed inside the avocado. And I did another seed dissection and I cut open, see the pepper? And you can see all the seeds inside the green pepper. And here we go, another piece so you can see the seeds very, very clearly for the green pepper. So now we're going to do a seed dissection of a kiwi. So I've got my little plate here and I'm going to cut my knife. You would use a dull knife or have somebody help you, and look inside this suitcase. This fruit is a suitcase for a seed. Can you see all the seeds? That's called seed dissection. You can do that with apples and peaches and all sorts of different things. Figs, pomegranates. Sometimes the seeds are little and sometimes the seeds are big. So remember, here's my reminder, a fruit is a suitcase for a seed. The fruit helps the seed get, remember we said that big word dispersal? Disperse, because what do we like to do with seeds? We eat them and animals eat them. And when they eat them, maybe they crack them open like the nuts and then part of the seed falls out. Or maybe what ends up happening is the animal eats the seed and it comes out the other end. Or maybe like the squirrels that actually like to bury their seeds in my plants, maybe they hide those seeds and then the seeds grow. So let's look at how seeds grow. So we said that we can plant seeds. I've got a bunch of seeds here. I've got forget-me-nots. I've got a pollinator mix. I've got some blue bonnets, so lots and lots of seeds. But let's see what the parts of the seeds are. And there are lots of big words about the parts of the seeds. but we're going to concentrate first on just the important parts, which is the outside. There we go. The seed coat, the inside where the food is stored, and that's going to be your first leaf and the sort of embryo. So there's a little baby seed. And if you look at this one, part will become the root, part will become the leaf. And this is where it broke off. That's actually called the hilum right there, where it broke off. So let us see what that actually looks like on seeds. So I'm going to get my plate here. And before I do that, I'm going to show you a little bit about how seeds grow. So I'm going to show you my seeds, which will look like this. And then you can see how they start to push up through the soil. First, they grow their little roots and their leaves. Then they, right there, if they're outside, and then they start to form the flowers. And you can see the flowers, and eventually they will form the pod, the bean, because these are bean seeds. So let's look and see. So you can see right here, these are seeds that are beginning to form their roots. Can you see those little tiny roots there? I'll put it up against my sweater where it's a little easier to see. You can see this seed is getting ready to break open right there. And this seed has up, look what's happened with this one. What has happened here? Can you see the little leaf? So it's got lots of roots. This would have come from something called the radicle. And this right here would have come from the avocado. Let's see, can you see the little leaf? So let's see. You can see the leaf just starting to come out on this one. You can see the leaf just starting to come out. And it's got the roots growing down. Here's another one where we can just see the leaf starting to come out. Here we go. Here's the leaves. And you can see that the food was in here. Now, if you look here, you can see how the seed split into two parts. So you can see that's because some seeds are monocots and some are dicots. So the big fancy names you don't have to remember right now. But this one had two different food sources on two different sides of it. And you can see that, and you can see how complicated the roots are. Let's look at this one where you can see how it's just breaking out of the seed right there. And again, you can see it's still inside the outer coating, but you can see right there, you can see how the stem is starting to come out and the roots already come out through the bottom. So that's how seeds develop. Now we eat a lot of food that are made from seeds or are seeds. So I've got pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. You know what seeds these are? I bet you like these. Popcorn. We have multi-seed crackers. We have, oh, these are lentils. You might have that in soup, or you might have beans in soup, or you might have, here's some multi-grain cereal. Here's, but you know what this is? So this is multi-grain. You can see it's got multi-seeds. all around the edges. That's bread. Or you might have sesame seeds or anise seeds. Or did you know this was a seed? Rice, that's a seed too. So we eat lots of seeds, but we also eat, and we're going to be drawing a picture of our favorite seed food. We also eat oatmeal, cereal, and one of my favorite foods, peanut butter, that's a seed food. Another one of my favorite foods is chili, vegetarian chili, that's a seed food. So to draw a picture of my favorite seed food, I drew vegetarian chili, best I could. So that's my favorite seed food. Now we can go on a seed walk, and I'm going to show you some of the things. If you walk like I did through grass this morning, I don't know how well it'll show up on the computer, but you can see I collected lots of seeds on my socks. And here's another sock, full of seeds. They'll probably fall all over the computer. Can you see? Full of seeds. So we help disperse seeds, often into my tennis shoes, but we help disperse seeds. So you can do a seed walk and you can find seeds in your trees. You can find grass seeds like I showed you. You can find seeds with flowers. They're going to be in the form that I showed you earlier, where they're getting ready to drop all their seeds. So it's really hard to see what the flowers are. But you can find seeds. I'm going to get, these are seeds from a tree. And I'll get seeds from grass right here. So here's seeds that came from grass. Let's pull the whole piece out so you can see it. There we go. So you can see the grass seeds, and you can do a walk to find all sorts of seeds. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll find some seeds in fruits, like the Eve's necklace beads I showed you earlier. So you can find seeds in lots of different places. Now, I made some seed art, and what I did is I took two-sided tape and I made a seed. Can you see that? Collage with lots of different kinds of seeds. I particularly like the way you could see with this flower. It's probably easier to see this one over here, how the seeds are actually coming out of the flower. That's a shrimp plant, it's called. Isn't that a funny name for a plant? And I did some seed sculpture. So we'll see if we can keep this from falling apart when I lift it out. There we go. So I did some seed sculpture in Play-Doh. Here's another one that's a little bit different. So you can do seed sculpture in Play-Doh. And I made some, I always make those snacks, so seed snacks. So I decided that I would do seed art sandwich. So you can see poppy seeds and sesame seeds. Up here's the anise seeds. Lots and lots of seed art. And that sandwich has peanut butter, because that's a seed food, and it had multi-seed, multi-grain bread, and that's a seed food too. Now I made a seed snack, and I used some of the same things. So I took my multi-seed cracker and I put some blue cream cheese on it, or blue frosting, just to make it colorful and pretty. And I thought I'd make a seed painting on my seed cracker. So you can see that. And I made some seed cookies. So here's my seed cookies. You can see that's the seed cookie. I could have made seed candy. I could have taken what we make almond bark with, that nice white chocolate or dark chocolate, and dropped the seeds onto that and made seed candy. So there's lots and lots of ways that we can make seed snacks. And so now I'm going to remind you a little bit about what we learned about seeds. So we learned that seeds travel. We learned that a fruit is a suitcase for a seed. Here we go. We learned about how seeds develop when they're sprouting. Here are my sprouting seeds. And that all the things that are going to become the plant come out of that little tiny seed. We learned about seed foods that we eat, like my favorite, vegetarian chili. And we learned how to make seed art and seed snacks. There's my seed sandwich. And so now we're going to sing our goodbye songs. But before we do that, I want to remind you, there are things going on at Hardriver Park all the time. You can get the grab and go bags. You can go for walks. There's growing up wild classes. There's starting out wild classes coming up. So there's lots of things. So always check your calendar, and we say thank you to the Conservancy for helping us put all these things on in the park. So shake hands with family, it's time to go. Shake hands with family, it's time to go. Shake hands with family, it's time to go. We hope we'll see you next month to learn about, if we have seeds, we've got to plant them in what? Soil. So we're going to learn about rocks and soil so we know what to do with those seeds. So goodbye, children. Goodbye, families. Goodbye, children. We'll see you again next month. Now it's time to wave bye-bye, wave bye-bye, wave bye-bye. Now it's time to wave bye-bye. We'll see you again. Soil and rocks, how rocks develop and how they become soil. So see you next time.